They discovered it, they read it, and they applied it. It's the golden thread that connects the titans of the self-development industry, the source that spawned millions of millionaires, the original blueprint to success.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Think and Grow Rich.
Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It's a classic. A classic.
And I love Think and Grow Rich. I love it. It's right here. I mean, it's one of my favorite books of all time.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
This material is what changed my life. This is the material I study every day. From being an immigrant woman, coming from poverty, and really coming to America and literally achieving the American dream. I can't even tell you how grateful I am for this man, for what he did for me and my family.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve.
People don't realize is that when we let our ego get in our way, ego is the loss, the fear of loss. So need to be right, the need to be offended, the need to be hurt, fearful. When that trajectory changes, what happens is you continually go the wrong way. So my job as a coach is to say, let's get into the enjoyment of the direct pursuit of my potential. Right? And so when the light went on, it was not about the potential of making money and being an entrepreneur, which is one of my specialties. And I said to him, look, this is an opportunity now to show how great you really are. We can't let the outside voices, right, determine our success. The happiness that we have comes within. Why are you going to give that control to somebody else?
Thoughts become things. And I always wonder, why did no one teach us this? Why did we not learn this in school? Why did we not learn this from our families? If you make your study a priority, your life will change.
And I came up with 4 really valuable things that I took stock in. And the first one was gratitude. Simple gratitude. Although I grew up with nothing, I was always grateful. Throughout the whole process of consistently, persistently pursuing my potential, I was grateful. It made my past better, my present brighter, and my future even brighter than that. In fact, I tell people all the time, if you want to change your life, change your employee's life, your family life, it's very simple. 2 words, say thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the first Napoleon Hill Institute training. I am blessed to be the chairman of the Napoleon Hill Institute along with Cleona O'Hara. We are revitalizing the Institute in order to effectuate helping other people help other people by utilizing the greatest entrepreneurial mindset, heart set, and handset content ever created by the incredible Napoleon Hill. The Institute will establish around the world the utilization of those principles as well as complementary content in order to facilitate the great wisdom and faith that Napoleon Hill has empowered us with for almost 100 years. And so we'll be doing on Wednesday these amazing trainings. And so we'd start with one of the key concepts of Napoleon Hill, which is the importance of a coach versus a mentor, and how facilitated teachings are integrated in the coaching and mentorship, and utilizing our understanding of why would we want to get involved in a coaching or a mentorship program, how much value does it have quantitatively, and what types of opportunity, cost, loss, and successes are affiliated with our understanding of coaching and mentoring. And I was very resistant early on to my mentors because at a young age, I felt as if I knew what I didn't know. And at least through my fear, I projected that onto other people that I knew what I didn't know. That's called ignorant arrogance, because all human beings know that they don't know. At our core, we understand that humility is why we seek the wisdom and the faith from coaches and mentors and find the right teachings like Napoleon Hill in order to facilitate the acceleration that we want towards what we want, the aggregation of the resources of a source of infinite information, a source of infinite energy in order to facilitate collecting, aggregating, and attracting all the right resources. And then, of course, one of the key components of what Napoleon Hill found through his own journey, the exponentiality of outcomes, regardless of the infinite time that it may or may not take in order to get to where we are. So we need to redefine this idea of a coach and a mentor. And I have a framework in which I've derived from Napoleon Hill's 17 Principles of Success that has allowed me to understand a mentor is a person that sits in the situation that you want to be in, has paid the dummy tax, has a tremendous amount of relationship capital in order to facilitate a quantitative value to where you want to be or better. And a coach brings the best out of you. Your coach may not know as much, not have as many relationships as you, and may not be as good at what you are trying to be or become, but they bring the best out of you so you can become more. Why do you think LeBron James, Tiger Woods, and so many other amazing experts, topics, and subject experts need mentorship and coaching? And it's another capability of a coach or a mentor to teach. And that's where Napoleon Hill's real value is he's one of not only the world's greatest mentors, world's greatest coaches, but also he, in his content, is one of the world's greatest teachers. That's why he has lasted the time criteria of being here for almost 100 years, and more relevant today, by the way, than he was when he created the content, which is also a sense of how powerful the principles of success are. We often hear the terms coach and mentor thrown around interchangeably, but there is that clear and meaningful difference between the two, by coaches drawing out the best performance day by day and mentors sharing the dummy tax experience, relationship capital, the knowledge, the wisdom to broaden your perspective, to move from an ignorant arrogance into the ignorant humility that allows us ourselves to be resources of the great source of infinite information and infinite power and energy. Each role that a coach, a mentor in the facilitation of the teaching is aligning perfectly with Napoleon Hill's 7 Principles of Success. A coach keeps you consistent and accountable. My philosophy of abundance, of happiness, is the ability to enjoy the things you don't like or love, to enjoy the struggle, to enjoy the pain, to enjoy the setbacks, mistakes, and failures, to enjoy it consistently every day and persistently without quit. Notating it's not the mistakes that you make within the context of the principles of success. It's your lack of commitment, consistency, and accountability to think, quote unquote, controlled attention and quote unquote personal initiative. It's the lack of commitment that will stop us from getting to where we want to be or better. Whereas a mentor, as previously indicated, embodies, quote unquote, the mastermind alliance by utilizing wisdom, faith, and the relationship capital to understand and leverage both, are allowing us and helping us to conquer the paralyzing anxieties, the reaction to fear that creates an acceleration in the wrong direction, that creates interference between the source to become better and bigger resources of the infinite information and infinite energy that exists. And this is what stands before you and your objectives and the exponentiality of those outcomes in alignment with where you want to be or better, what's called the divine direction. But in order to utilize the divine direction, you know there's detours, and the detours have to be divine as well. And you know it takes time, and timing has to be divine as well. Instead of fixating on the future and letting the interferences, the reaction to fear, the worry, anxiety, frustration, anger, upset, resentment, guilt, etc., drain or interfere with the infinite knowledge and infinite energy that exists in the oneness of what Napoleon Hill's principles are collaborating us into. Let's embrace the immediate action steps that each relationship type offers between mentors, coaches, and their capability of teaching. Confident that solutions will emerge from the synergistic supplementary idea of structured coaching and inspired mentoring. One of the reasons I have always been involved, and now at such a concentrated level, is because of the structured coaching and inspired mentoring that has lasted the test of time. You can rely on the 19-year-old life coach if you want, or you can rely on the success principles of Napoleon Hill and those that have been certified, trained in order to align you with the time-tested and seminal information that allows you to be a greater resource of those sources. And so let's look into what attributes make a good mentor. Number one, why does it matter? Trusting the guidance will emerge from the right mentor. It should not only motivate you, get you up, get you back up, get you started, and get you back started, but it should inspire you to get there, to be consistent and persistent, to enjoy what you don't like or don't love, or other people don't like or love, or enjoy the struggle or the pain or the setbacks or the failures, to seek out these individuals with relevant experience, topic, subject matter, and expertise that you're looking for. No longer it is the aggregate of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's more because of the total addressable community and the accessibility that Napoleon Hill Institute gives you. It's about understanding what team you want to play on according to subject matter, topic, or expertise, and what position you want to play on that team as a mentor, a coach, a teacher, a player, a point guard, a water boy. It is a strong mentor that provides the relativity, association, and the feeding from the challenges, setbacks, failures, mistakes, and the positive feeding that saves you from the dummy tax, from future mistakes. It accelerates your learning curve and exponentially creates outcomes in your life. So many people don't realize they're worried about their state and federal taxes, all types of sales tax. They actually move away from their family and friends to save on a simple 12% state tax, ignoring the value of the dummy tax. That the dummy tax will and has cost me everything I ever earned, and will and almost cost me everything I ever was going to earn. Forget the 12%, that's a weather tax. Understanding why it matters, to understand the fastest way to get to where you want to be or better is to find someone that's sitting in the seat you want to sit in and pulling up a seat next to them, and also pulling up a seat next to you so you can help others get to where they want to be. That's the 2 fastest ways. It's the basis of the mastermind of Napoleon Hill's 17 principles of success. Let's use controlled attention, personal initiative, and the mastermind alliance in order to facilitate the collective consciousness of abundance, of getting more of what we want and getting rid of what we don't want. So many times college graduates are looking and finding mentors in industry, career, job that they're looking for. And the mentor's willingness to share knowledge, relationships, time, motivation, and inspiration opens doors that the new entrepreneur might never have discovered. And so looking at how do we find and discover the right mentors, understand the right position we want to play, understand the time, value, and emotion that we want to invest? Why not go to the seminal source? Why not utilize the 17 principles of success and those that have been trained as coaches, mentors, and teachers in order to facilitate your advancement to where you want to be or better, not where other people want you to be? That was never Napoleon Hill's intention. It's where you want to be or better. Mentorship is less about titles and more about the willingness to invest the time, emotion, and value and effort into somebody else's growth that will create the longevity and the perpetuation of your principles, as indicated by Napoleon Hill himself for almost 100 years. This aligns with the concept of a mastermind alliance principle, which requires supportive relationships to amplify success. What we want to do is identify the relevancy, the synergies, the supplementary to what's doing well, what's stable, what you think is going to do well, and align it with the relevant backgrounds of the industry's jobs and careers. Look for mentors who've already solved the problems you face. Confirm the enthusiasm, and theos means with God, with spirit. Confirm the enthusiasm. A great mentor and a coach is willing and consistently shares their expertise and their relationship capital, their dummy tax. Cultivate respect through your mindset, your heart set, and your handset. Approach the relationships in an ignorant humility, not an ignorant arrogance, with mutual admiration and respect. And this synergy fosters open and honest dialogue. We need to encourage the investment of time, emotion, and value from both the mentors, the mentee, the coaches, and the clients, and the teachers and the students that commit to the enjoyment of the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of their potential, utilizing the time, energy, and value that they have to reflect on Hill's cooperation principle. All of these exercises and guides is available for you. Just email me. We'd love to get you more involved and start you with these lessons and exercises that will help to facilitate an elevation of awareness to get to where you want to be or better. So what are the attributes that we should look to that make a good coach, that can bring out the best of us? Strategic foresight in coaching is invaluable, but if a coach lacks consistency or emotional intelligence, they can't effectively guide their team to success. So understanding a sales coach, for example, that lacks as a coach the consistency, the enjoyment of the things that we don't like, the struggles, setbacks, and mistakes, not just for themselves, but for you, or lacks emotional intelligence, they can't effectively guide their team or individuals to success. They will lack the ability to bring out the best in you. It's consistent coaching and programmatic consistency of being annoying to you that drives daily improvement and builds resilience. Because that annoyance of being honest as a coach and repetitive are necessity, but also create resistance, because human beings and human nature hates consistency and hates the truth. A sales coach, for example, within the context of Napoleon Hill Institute, who shows up each morning with a clear plan, a positive attitude, and actionable feedback, helps the team surpass targets. Meanwhile, an inconsistent coach leaves the team anxious and unfocused. That is why I believe daily interaction, being available and accessible every day, is so important to be a coach, a mentor, or a teacher. Great coaches at the Napoleon Hill Institute and other places mirror the principles of quote unquote going the extra mile. They prepare diligently, maintain consistently, and embody emotional intelligence to drive continuous performance gains. But I don't believe it's the extra mile. I think when we talk about the extra mile, it's interpreted wrong about Napoleon Hill, what he means through that definition. Because through that definition, what he's talking about is the empty mile. So many people go the extra mile every once in a while, and then they use that to justify why they're not where they want to be. They're not repetitive. They're not honest with themselves, consistent and persistent in the pursuit of their potential. They don't prepare diligently and maintain that consistency. The example that I love to give is I've never had a kid who studied 15 minutes of Spanish a day that didn't get an A, but I know thousands of kids who study 15 hours on Sunday for a Monday test and don't. You need, as a coach and a player, commit to the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. Show up ready, focused, early, unbiased, regardless of the interferences, the circumstances of each day. Make it a non-negotiable. We need to practice our emotional intelligence. We need to utilize our intuition, intelligence, and inspiration to manage team dynamics, acknowledge mistakes, and adjust strategies as needed. We use a mutual communication of not only what I say, but what they hear in order to ensure feedback is clear, but also listen to and listen for the concerns and ideas from your team. One of the biggest challenges is just to stay optimistic, to use gratitude and forgiveness and accountability to stay in the optimism of abundance, of finding the light, the love, and the lessons through all the different pain, setbacks, and failures, notating that it is this optimistic approach of finding light, love, and lessons that keeps our purpose greater than our pain. The thoughts about our purpose, remember, are our purpose. Encourage their team through both wins and losses, applying Hill's quote unquote positive mental attitude, the PMA that makes your day. Understanding the attributes also leads to the basement of what you are looking at, because it is the skills and the knowledge that's the basement. It's the delta that we're looking for. And so not only do we have to take inventory of our own skills and knowledge, but we need to take inventory of our coach's skills and knowledge to make sure it's aligned with where we want to be. It's our mentor's skills and knowledge to make sure it's aligned with where we want to be. And it's, of course, their ability to teach as well, as stated above. Excessive worrying, interference over perfection instead of progress. Worrying over the perfect approach to coaching can stall your ability to take action, to learn, to find the light, the love, and the lessons, to expedite, accelerate, aggregate, and compound exponentially where we want to be. Instead, focusing on essential skills, preparation, EQ, the mutual communication of what you say and what you hear, of listening for, the knowledge of the basement of the skills and the knowledge to apply our strengths to what's doing well, what's stable, what we think is going to do well, and minimize our weaknesses by moving it to a place where our weakness becomes a strength, or finding someone who can help facilitate making our weaknesses a strength. This is what creates immediate impact. A startup founder using daily stand-ups to identify everyone's daily wins and challenges, tapping each person's strength to solve problems collaboratively while reinforcing an environment of open communication. So many times we put people in a position that they're not capable of fulfilling. It'd be like me playing in the NBA. No matter what my desire is, no matter how much I improve, I'm not going to, because of my capabilities, skills, knowledge, and in the basement is so low, aligned with what's doing well today in the NBA, what's stable, or what I think is going to do well. If we analogize it towards Hill's quote unquote accurate thinking, an effective coach leverages clarity, balance, and focus in the facts, knowing exactly what each person brings to the table, the strengths and the weaknesses, the basement, the skills, the knowledge, and the desire to pair it with enthusiasm that rallies the entire team, the collective consciousness, in a shared vision, in shared objectives, shared direction, shared detours, and time. We need to prepare specifics. Start each session with a concrete example of what we're trying to do or better. Implement a quote unquote strength first approach, aligning the strengths with what's doing well, what's stable, and what we think is going to be doing well, positioning team members where they can thrive, turning their weaknesses, moving them into opportunities. Practicing daily encouragement, using gratitude, empathy, and accountability to uphold that optimism of finding the light, the love, and the lessons in the struggles, pain, setbacks, failures, and mistakes. Motivational viewpoint and inspirational viewpoint. Even when things get tough, we got to continue to enjoy the tough things consistently, persistently, without quit, in the pursuit of their potential. Redefine through the feedback and the mutual communication of what we say and what they're listening for, what they hear, by consistently requesting input. Questions and suggestions are the input that you use as a coach, mentor, and teacher to adapt and improve based on real-time circumstances and insights. What skills make a good mentor versus a coach? Well, we know that anxiety, reaction to fear, they interfere or paralyze us. And prioritization, as you know, is a key important component in overcoming any type of anxiety, procrastination, or feeling of being overwhelmed. Overwhelmed, in a good mentor's philosophy as a skill, is simply an illustration of abundance. It creates, quote unquote, the perfect mentor can keep you from forging valuable connections. A mentor with even a single area of relevant expertise can directly reduce the dummy tax, the learning curve, and accelerate the relationships that have been built over 30, 40, even 50 years, as Bob Proctor has for me. An aspiring author struggles so much time and motivation and finds a mentor who, despite not being a best-selling author themselves, has successfully published multiple books and navigated the industry. The transfer of relevant know-how and encouragement helps the mentee finish the manuscript. Elevate your awareness to whether that type of help is mentorship or coaching, and a combination thereof. Easier to find a mentor who just gives you directions to where they want to be or better, but necessitating coaching to bring out the best in us and the ability to explain it with the mutual communication that's necessary. A mentor draws from the quote unquote definiteness of purpose. Two of the key concepts that Hill starts with, his first principle, definiteness of purpose and control of impulse. By aligning the background with these definite objectives, they model the enjoyment of the consistent, persistent pursuit of our potential. They model the accountability of asking ourselves, what is it I did to be responsible for this outcome that I doesn't show me evidence or contrary evidence to where I want to be? What did I do to track this evidence that's non-existent or contrary to where I want to be? And what's my perception that I'm participating in? And in the context of definite purpose, what am I supposed to learn from it to keep it aligned with where I want to be or better in the enjoyment of the consistent, persistent pursuit of my potential, regardless of what I like, don't like, what's working, what's not working, what I know and what I don't know. The power of sharing expertise is a good mentor and the position they sit in and the knowledge of what position to put you in. Match the background to the needs. Identify mentors who have subject matter, topic, and expertise in what you're looking to be and the path on how to get there, and it aligns with your own. Vet people for enthusiasm, for their godlike genius, the expression of that through them to confirm they're genuinely eager to teach and empower others. Insist on respect mutually and mutual patience as well. Although all mentors, coaches, and teachers are annoying because of their honesty and repetitive nature, a healthy mentor-mentee relationship involves mutual understanding, empathy, forgiveness, accountability, and inspiration for the necessary time, emotion, and value investment that's necessary. That is why we vet our people for the ability to match the backgrounds, the ability to vet for enthusiasm, and have the patience and respect that's necessary to facilitate true value. Leverage our networks. One of the things about being around for so long and being the seminal personal development and business development leader that Napoleon Hill is, which has founded the credibility of Napoleon Hill Institute, is leveraging the shared network of mentors, teachers, and coaches, and a community of people that are abiding and practicing the 17 principles of success. Mentors often open doors through their own connections that have a quantitative value far beyond the mindset, heart set, in which they help to progress and to establish and evolve. Reminder, if you want this training guide, exercises, and principles, just go ahead, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. We'd be happy to send it. We also tomorrow are doing a Napoleon Hill meetup in Times Square. Come and meet us at 1530 Broadway, and also have a VIP Napoleon Hill dinner. So many extraordinary people. Cleona O'Hara and I will be there. Rhett Power will be there. So many others will be there. Gail King said she's stopping by. Claude Silver from Vayner. Just amazing people are all coming. Come and join us. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Next thing that we want to do is integrate the principles in coaching and mentoring. Coaching and mentoring, the facilitation and capability of teaching both stem from collaboration and shared vision, precisely what Napoleon Hill and Napoleon Hill Institute advocates in his 17 principles. We need to fuse these principles with the appropriate people in order to maximize our personal and professional growth, utilizing the time-tested principles of the seminal personal and professional development leader of all times. Even Tony Robbins bases what he has off of. Bob Proctor, all Wayne Dyer, all learn from these 17 principles in other content created by Napoleon Hill almost 100 years ago. A leadership coach, for example, and the ones that we have, utilize Hill's quote unquote applied faith to instill belief in the client's potential and quote unquote cooperation to foster a mastermind environment, a collective consciousness, ensuring not only the mindset, heart set, but the handset that each member team is a collective experience, the business development, and even today, post-production content, a social silo that exists in a own consciousness to help other people scale and aggregate and accelerate their impact that they want to have to help us all be happy, to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. When we combine the quote unquote coach approach, structured day-to-day, consistent, persistent improvement with the quote-unquote mentor approach, imparting the wisdom and the faith and the relationships that accelerate, aggregate, and compound exponentially the growth that is far beyond what either methodology could achieve alone, combining our capability of helping people learn how to teach, to co-communicate in what we say and what we hear, to listen for through suggestions and questions. Adopt this quote-unquote mastermind approach of Napoleon Hill. Encourage all coaches, mentors, and teachers to collaborate with you and each other for a richer insight. Find a neighborhood, find the Napoleon Hill Institute, find your vibe, your tribe in order to facilitate an elevation of your awareness. Make life easy from those who have already been in and lived in and journeyed in and progressed in the dis-easy. Use quote unquote the first principle of definiteness of purpose to keep every coach, mentor, and teacher in every session anchored and clear. Measurable, quantitative objectives that are exponentially accelerating, aggregating, and compounding on themselves, aligned with your divine direction. Making every detour divine through the principles and allowing for divine time to elevate why there's no evidence, elevate our awareness to why the evidence is contrary to where we want to be or better. Let's practice going the empty mile, which is really what I believe going the extra mile meant with the consistent, persistent approach that Napoleon Hill teaches us. Over deliver value, I say manage and develop the expectations of that value by being able to articulate a quantitative value to exceed what you're asking for and what you deliver. When we can communicate the quantitative value of what we have offered or achieved, we are over delivering. This is how over delivering value. If it's perception, you'll never do it because everybody's perceptions are different. It has to be in the articulation of the quantitative value of what we achieve and believe through our participation in that perception and being accountable for the lessons learned. Whether you're the coach, the mentor, in your ability to teach, to build trust, credibility, and create momentum, enthusiasm in spirit, the unbelievable intelligence of academic intelligence, the intuitive intelligence, the emotional intelligence, and the inspirational intelligence that pervades all of Napoleon Hill's 17 principles. We are creating an environment through the gratitude, accountability, and effective communication to stay positive, to find the PMA, the quote unquote positive mental attitude that utilizes gratitude to find the light, the love, and the lessons, forgiveness to give us ease by understanding I forgive the perceptions you have and I pray you forgive the perceptions you have about me, to transform my setbacks, mistakes, failures into stepping stones, knowing the 1,000-step approach. In conclusion, in our first Napoleon Hill Institute training on coach versus mentor, we want to choose the right to support ourselves for sustainable success, a pervading institutional objective of progress, not perfection. We need to decide you need a coach or a mentor that can teach us, or both, ultimately coming down to knowing what stage of growth we're in, where we are today, what's working, what's not working, what we like, what we don't like, what we know and what we don't know, aligned with our skills, knowledge, and desire, aligning the coaches, mentors, and teachers' skills, knowledge, and desire with what's doing well, what's stable, what you think is doing well, according to subject matter, topic, or expertise, and then find the industry jobs and careers that provide us the greatest abundance. This is the institute that we belong to. Join us at Napoleon Hill Institute, where our coaches, mentors, and teachers guide you through daily challenges with consistent feedback, persistent inspiration, and outcomes that are exponential, while mentors illuminate the broader path with special insights, personal insights, relationship capital, dummy tax, the hard-earned lessons. They combine their strength, their knowledge, their weaknesses to move them around, to align them so that you find yourself progressing in an accelerated, aggregating, compounding way for your definiteness of purpose. Controlling your impulse, the interference between you and an infinite source of information and an infinite source of energy, to gain greater clarity and resolve resolution into your life that creates the abundance of more than enough of everything, more money, more help, and more fun. When we follow Napoleon Hill's principles like the definiteness of purpose, or going the empty mile / extra mile, and cooperating, coordinating, and collaborating in a mastermind. We can amplify the impact of these relationships, transform worry into productivity, accessibility, and we change the fear into the decisiveness of action, minimizing minutes and moments in the reaction to that fear, giving us the divine direction with that divine detour to get us there in divine time. Whichever path you choose, remember that both roles, teachers and mentors, can accelerate you to where you want to be or better when rooted in mutual respect, focused intention and attention, and an unwavering commitment to personal and professional growth from the seminal leader of personal and professional growth. All of our mentors, teachers, and coaches carry forward the principles of success that Napoleon Hill came up with almost 100 years ago. This has been our weekly training with the Napoleon Hill Institute, Lesson Coach versus Mentor. We will be in New York City in Times Square, 4 p.m. tomorrow. Come and join us at 1530 Broadway, 4 p.m. and then a dinner afterwards. Let's honor, surround ourselves, the neighborhood of Napoleon Hill Institute. I want to thank all of our members in Napoleon Hill Institute, especially Cleona O'Hara, who has made these trainings possible for everyone. Please look into all the programs at Napoleon Hill Institute to help you become a better coach, teacher, or mentor, to help you become a better mentee as well. We have a time-tested system, principles, and action that will get you to where you want to be or better. Please reach out to us. Either go to the NapoleonHillInstitute.com, or of course, we can go to email me directly to meet up tomorrow. Come to our dinner and join us. David@dmeltzer.com. We will be back Friday for another free training. Come and join me at 6 a.m. on Friday. And we look forward to in a couple of days having more of a collaborative experience with some Q&A as well. Thank you so much. Hit it, Gigi.
They discovered it, they read it, and they applied it. It's the golden thread that connects the titans of the self-development industry, the source that spawned millions of millionaires, the original blueprint to success.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Think and Grow Rich.
Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It's a classic. A classic.
And I love Think and Grow Rich. I love it. It's right here. I mean, it's one of my favorite books of all time.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
This material is what changed my life. This is the material I study every day. From being an immigrant woman, coming from poverty, and really coming to America and literally achieving the American dream. I can't even tell you how grateful I am for this man, for what he did for me and my family.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve.
People don't realize is that when we let our ego get in our way, ego is the loss, the fear of loss. So need to be right, the need to be offended, the need to be hurt, fearful. When that trajectory changes, what happens is you continually go the wrong way. So my job as a coach is to say, let's get into the enjoyment of the direct pursuit of my potential. Right? And so when the light went on, it was not about the potential of making money and being an entrepreneur, which is one of my specialties. And I said to him, look, this is an opportunity now to show how great you really are. We can't let the outside voices, right, determine our success. The happiness that we have comes within. Why are you going to give that control to somebody else?
Thoughts become things. And I always wonder, why did no one teach us this? Why did we not learn this in school? Why did we not learn this from our families? If you make your study a priority, your life will change.
And I came up with 4 really valuable things that I took stock in. And the first one was gratitude. Simple gratitude. Although I grew up with nothing, I was always grateful. Throughout the whole process of consistently, persistently pursuing my potential, I was grateful. It made my past better, my present brighter, and my future even brighter than that. In fact, I tell people all the time, if you want to change your life, change your employee's life, your family life, it's very simple. 2 words, say thank you.